We're getting the party started in the NHL with NHL.com's Fantasy on Ice podcast host Pete Jensen, plus RotoWire's Paul Bruno and AJ Scholz. 9-game slate this evening, fellas. Need your best DFS plays. So, which center are you going to be paying up for this evening, Pete?
I'm going to go with Nazem Kadri for the Colorado Avalanche. I don't like the lack of consistency from the New York Islanders. I know that Sorokin has been great, but if this is Varlamov especially going tonight against the Avalanche either way have the overpowering matchup for sure. So I would spend up for Kadri. He's only had 3 different stretches this season of multiple games without a point, so good chance he bounces back from a rare goose egg the other day. And he ranks 6th in NHL points per game, minimum 20 games. With great split stats against the Eastern Conference. So give me Kadri all day and probably a stack from the Avalanche in this matchup against the Isles.
All right, Paul, what do we think? Who are you paying up for at center?
You know what? You can go all the way to the top and blow your brains out on McKinnon, McDavid, and Aho. They all have pretty nice one-sided matchups, but I'm going to go a little bit lower in the center mix and find a couple of guys that are almost as hot as those guys, but maybe $2,000 or $3,000 cheaper. So Patrice Bergeron makes the grade, $6,400, centering one of the top lines in hockey still, although they've got a different look on one of the wings with DeBrusk filling in instead of Pasternak. So it hasn't slowed down Bergeron, and they looked like they were at practice last night in Los Angeles, rolling up a 7, and I think they could do the same thing in Anaheim tonight. And then Steven Stamkos against the Ottawa Senators. The Sens are really struggling offensively, and I think it's affected their overall game. Meanwhile, the Bolts are on another roll, and they're averaging over 4 goals a game in their last 5 games. So I think Stammer is in for a big night and only cost $6,300 here.
All right, AJ, who do you want to pay up for at center?
Pete's on the right team, but the wrong center. And Paul is, for whatever reason, fading him. I'm going to go all the way to the top, $9K for Nathan MacKinnon here. He's on a 7-game point streak that includes half a dozen goals. Look, it's actually not the best matchup, as Pete kind of alluded to here. The Isles have allowed 2.59 goals per game since we got into calendar year 2022. And Sorokin has been really good, but he's dead right. If for some reason Varlamov gets to start, then you absolutely should heavily stack. I do think even with, the fact that Edmonton has a better matchup against the Flyers, I still think you pay up that little bit extra, get McKinnon. He's just been too good and too goal heavy lately to avoid him.